In this video, we're going to look at determinants. So let me show you what the determinant of a matrix is. So I'm going to imagine that I started with a 1 by 1 square, whose area, conveniently, is 1. Now suppose I apply a matrix to this and it stretches this square out to this shape. A natural question to ask is, what's the area of this new shape? Because if I know that, I'll know essentially what the area scale factor is for my world after I apply the matrix compared to what it was before. Because this is what the 1 by 1 square got stretched to. So if anything had an area that was double, well, it would get stretched into a shape that's double. So if I can work out the area of this parallelogram, I will know a sort of something like an area scale factor for my matrix. Now, that area scale factor is what we call a determinant. So basically, a determinant tells you how much bigger the area of everything gets. So let's suppose that the matrix that we applied to that square was ABCD. So just a completely general matrix. We're going to work out in terms of A, B, C, and D what the area of this parallelogram is. And it's quite a lot of algebra here. So if you're ready, let's get going. So what we're going to do is we're going to first recognize that this parallelogram is completely symmetrical. So to make our lives easier, we're just going to work out the area of this triangle here, and then we'll double it. Now, two useful bits of information would be the coordinates of this point and the coordinates of this point. Well, this point was where the original point 1, 0 got mapped to. So I can see, where does A, B, C, D take the point 1, 0? Well, it's A times 1 plus B times 0, which is A, and it's C times 1 plus D times 0, which is C. So this point has coordinates AC. Now, I won't mark that on just now because you'll see I'll be annotating this quite a lot in a moment. The point up here was the point 1, 1. It's where 1, 1 got taken to. So A, B, C, D. Where does that take the point 1, 1? Well, it's A plus B, and it's C plus D. So this is the point with coordinates A plus B and C plus D. That one I can squeeze in. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to first find the area of this big triangle here, and then I'm going to subtract away 3 different parts. I'm going to subtract this triangle here, this rectangle here, and this triangle here. So you'll see that well, I guess I can fit in the coordinates here. It's AC. All right, so let's think about the dimensions of all of these shapes. What's the base length here? Well, the x value at this point is A. So that means this length is just A. And then the height of this is just C. That's the y value here. So let's actually label this thing up. Let's call this P, this one Q, and this one R. So what I have is that P, well, it's just a triangle with base A and height C, so that's half AC. What about Q? Well, the x value here is A plus B, and the x value here is A. So that means that this gap here must be B, right? Because A plus B is the x value here. This height is still C, so that means that Q is just a rectangle with base B and height C. Okay, R. Well, R's got a base of B, and what's its height? Well, the height here was C, and now it's C plus D, so this must be D. So R is a triangle, half times base D, B times height D. Okay, so the blue triangle that we're looking for is this large right angle triangle minus P, Q, and R. So that large right angle triangle, well, it's half times the base, which is A plus B, times the height of C plus D. And so it's going to be that minus P minus Q minus R. I told you it was a lot of algebra. Okay, let's expand all of this, and this should reveal to us the area of this blue triangle. So, expanding this bracket, I get AC plus AD plus BC plus BD. And I can't do anything here yet. Minus AC minus BC minus a half BD. So I have a half AC plus a half AD plus a half BC plus a half BD minus a half AC minus BC minus a half BD. Right, there should be lots of nice cancelling now. So half AC is going to cancel with the minus a half AC there. So gone and gone. Half BC, well, we'll sort out the half BCs later. I've got BD here, half BD and half BD here. So that's gone and gone, leaving me just with half AD, and then it's half BC minus BC. So that's minus half BC. Okay, well, that was just this region here. So the full blue parallelogram is just 2 times this. Double that and you get AD minus BC. And there it is. That is the formula for calculating the determinant of a matrix. Remember, the determinant tells you how much the area of any shape you apply the matrix to has increased. When we started with a 1 by 1 square, we finished with a parallelogram of area AD minus BC. But whatever this is, it's by how much all the areas have been stretched. Okay, let's actually look at calculating some determinants. So suppose we had the matrix 4, 1, 1, 2. What's the determinant? Oh, by the way, here's the notation. We'd say det of M, or sometimes just the modulus of M. So the determinant of M, it's AD, so that's 4 times 2, which is 8, minus BC, so minus 1 times 1, and that is 7. So it tells me that the matrix 4, 1, 1, 2, whatever kind of warping and stretching it does, it makes all of the areas 7 times what they were before. Neat, right? Okay, let's have a look at a different matrix that does something else. So suppose my matrix did this. Okay, we'll watch that again because you need to pay attention to something. It's not only stretching, it's also flipping. So let's see what happens with our determinant. Well, the determinant of this matrix for 1, minus 1, minus 2 is, well, 4 times minus 2 is minus 8. Minus 1 times minus 1, so that's plus 1. So we get minus 7. So what does that mean? I told you that the determinant represents some kind of area scale factor. Well, a negative determinant just tells you the area has grown by 7, but it's also done a kind of reflection or a flip at some point. So when we flip over a shape, it ends up with something like negative area, although of course the area of this blue parallelogram here is still just 7 times the area of this original square. Okay, time for a bit of practice. If you think you got it, have a go at these. So the determinant of this one here, 1, 4, 5, minus 2, is 1 times minus 2, which is minus 2, minus 4 times 5, which is minus 20, and it's minus 22 for that one. For this one here, the determinant of 0, minus 3, 2, 7 is 0 times 7 minus minus 3 times 2, so that's plus 6, and the determinant of that one is 6. Okay, we're now going to discover a neat property of determinants. So find the modulus of, or the determinant of A. So that's 1 times 3 minus 4 times minus 2, so that's plus 8. So that's 11. What about for B? Well, it's minus 2 times 2, which is minus 4, minus 0 times 3, and that's just negative 4. Okay, what about AB? So let's multiply 1, 4, minus 2, 3 by minus 2, 0, 3, 2. Feel free to do this on the calculator if you like to practice that, or to do it by hand. I'll do it by hand. So it's minus 2 plus 12, so that is 10. Then it's 0 plus 8. 4 plus 9 is 13. And 0 plus 6. So that's AB. So let's find the determinant of AB. Well, that is 10 times 6, which is 60, minus 13 times 8. And 13 times 8 is 104. So in total, that is minus 44. Do you notice anything about minus 44? Well, eagle-eyed among you will notice that's 11 times minus 4. And that's not a coincidence. An important result, that's always true, is that the determinant of A, B is always the same as the determinant of A multiplied by the determinant of B, which I guess makes sense when you think about transformations, because if you were to increase an area by 11 and then increase it by minus 4, which is like a flip and increasing it by 4, well, doing all of those things at once, which is what AB does, should result in something that's just as stretched, just as big. Okay, so that's what determinants are. We've got a formula for it now as well. Over the next few videos, we're just going to explore all of the important and interesting things we can learn about a matrix by considering its determinant.